And there's a real, both of these polls are in their own way, as I've called them, garbage, but there's also something very deceptive here, is that as we get closer to the election, these organizations don't want to get caught with their pants down having garbage numbers. So what they do is, as they get closer, they switch to a different, tighter, somewhat more accurate methodology. At the Emerson poll, they tried to poll the special election in Ohio that just recently happened, and they used a much more accurate likely voter model. But they were off significantly. They said the Democrat would win. They were wrong. But it was a more accurate methodology. That means that they know that what they're putting out there in the public right now is inaccurate. They wouldn't use this closer to an election. The only reason they're using it now is because it shows these huge margins for Democrats, which is great for raising money and raising enthusiasm. And think about this. These are media organizations. These are the standards they have for their pollsters. What standards do you think they have for their reporters? Do you think they're any different or the same?
Right. It's essentially, these polls are propaganda then, if they're not even trying to be honest about the methodology. And if they know from having done these polls in the past that they're not accurate, then they haven't changed their methodology. They know that they're going to be continuing to produce inaccurate results. Matt, one more question before we have to go here. Beto O'Rourke versus Ted Cruz. It's getting kind of close down in Texas. Ted Cruz, though, recently said that there are more Republicans in Texas than there are Democrats. So his job basically between now and election day is to make sure that Republicans turn out to vote, because if he gets people to turn out, then he will win. Do you consider that to be an accurate statement?
There are more registered Democrats in that state than there are Republicans, but there are more Republicans that do show up to vote, and that's been the history. The only way a Democrat really wins this race is if he makes a big mistake, and he's not. He's run a very smart campaign, very aggressive. But long-term, Texas has a problem. Since the last presidential election, Republicans have registered 225,000 new conservatives. I should say conservatives have registered another 225,000 voters. Progressives in Texas have registered another 500,000. In the long term, if that trend continues and those people turn out to vote, they could effectively flip Texas and keep conservatives and patriots out of the White House forever and out of the Senate. So that is a troubling cause, a troubling issue for concern. It's something my organization, Look Ahead, is addressing, but it is a big problem. It's something that's on the horizon we need to keep in mind.